So Shabbat Shalom. Last Shabbat was Parsha Bereshit, and this Shabbat is Noach. Each Parsha, back to back, deals with destruction, chaos, and new beginnings. Order created out of the chaos. There are the Genesis creation stories, number 1 and number 2. Our Torah study people will probably get into that. And then there's actually a third creation story with Parsha Noach, because everything had to be created again. All instances end with mankind's inability to keep to the path of God. And challenging relationship and familial traumas, tests of character and righteousness, all of that to lead us to the point that we have the opportunity to use our free will to manifest glory, God's glory that is within us. Our ancestry and our humanity is presented as basically flawed, but filled with great promise and potential despite our choices. Our ancestral story is there to serve as an example of our fragility, but also as an example of the great strength and perseverance that is within us, especially when we have faith and we continue to move forward no matter what calamity befalls us, no matter how horrific. This was true almost 6,000 years ago, and it is still true today. As a global humanity, it would be nice if we learned our lessons and we evolved farther than where we are. We kind of go around and around and around in circles, repeating past patterns. We still make choices that derail us and harm each other and harm our planet. God still sticks by us no matter what as our ultimate parent and stands by frustrated yet hopeful that we will one day rise above our weaknesses, our perceived limitations, because we don't have limitations. God put all the power within us and our negative choices. God makes the rainbow covenant that he or she will not wipe us out again. That is the promise. But this time, it's going to be us that may be responsible for wiping our own selves out. Through war, degradation and destruction, misplaced power, arrogance, and lack of consideration, each toward the other. We are all one humanity. As I've said before, we all bleed red. The familial ties, all of the ties that are set up in these first two parshiot are broken. And it is up to us to look at it and to learn and to repair the relationships and heal the humanity and our world. We get an example of it in the Torah. There are some pretty horrific stories, but we are meant to learn from them and do it better. We have taken 2 trips as a synagogue to the Nova exhibit about what happened in Israel on October 7th. And we will take one last trip this Sunday for those wishing to go. If we can even get tickets, it's the last day, but Lynn looked, we still can, but we need to know today, tonight, if you're going to go. Please. And I'm dedicating my sermon to this because this is Parsha Noach. We can be obliterated, all of us. And we have very severe negative forces trying to do that right now. And we have to stand up and be willing to look it in the eye and face it. Everyone should see this exhibit. I know it's traumatizing. It covers the festival in Israel and the horrific display of what actually happened with actual things: cell phones, shoes, purses, wallets, videotapes, recordings on the cell phones, in the videos. But it ends in a very strong Israeli way. It ends with a demonstration of hope. The Israelis have some kind of will in them that's inside of us, but we all have to connect to that. They do not ever let it get to them. Marianne, our president, her daughter married an Israeli, and she's insisting on staying there. Now she's going to have a baby in the middle of drones and bombs and all kinds of things. They're getting married. They're having, simcha celebrations. They're making babies. They're going on. And we can't cower in our comfort. We at least have to support them by showing up, if we can. Now, ironically, one video has the events that took place in a way that the police force is explaining. Now, the first time I went, every time now I'm looking to see if we're going to find something else this third time. I didn't catch this one. So the second time that we went, they actually said this attack was meant for all of Israel. The sheer amount of drones and the missiles, the attack, the full-on scale of all of the people that were out there ready to break up the highways and tear down everything. The festival turned out to be their big hoo-ha, but it was made to really be a full-scale attack on Israel. It was Simchat Torah, there was the Yom Kippur War, and this was Simchat Torah. And so, unfortunately, we are all the collateral damage. And those people that are still there are suffering. Everyone is suffering. And we owe it to them to take a look at that and listen to it and own it and share in it. And the joy that they present at the end that is transforming. Because hostages that have been released are up in a festival several months later, telling everyone to dance, to live, to not let the evil win. And we have to do that in our country. We're all going to go down. And I don't know if we're going to get another ark to come save us. So we have to do it. Somehow we have to do it. And I would say one small step for humanity is to just come with us in the carpool, go see it, and then go eat out after. We have the comfort of being able to see it and then walk away from it. But we carry it in our hearts and in our souls. You will be transformed. You will never be the same after experience it. And it saddens me that more of us have not gone. Everyone should go, period. No exceptions. And it ends on Sunday. If the world could see what this Nova group is doing, and what they're doing in the recreation of that experience of that day, more people would understand where Israel is coming from and why. Before, I've been on educator trips to Israel where we were, in 1998, we were in the schools and we were trying to create, Arab-Israeli schools, and so that everybody could get along, and maybe if they grew up as children, it would be different. But when I heard one recording of one young man, Quinn's age, on the phone, Dad, you got to go on your WhatsApp. I killed 10 of those dirty, stinking Jews. Look on the WhatsApp and you can see what I did to them. That is not okay. It's a different reality. It's a different thing. It adds another layer. It's one thing to be comfortable in our own homes and listening to it all. It's another thing to be out there. And it's another thing to have to listen to it. And you know what? Yes, we're uncomfortable, but we have to listen to it. Or at least listen to me talking about it. And you're going to hear Jeremy and Lynn talking about it as well. If we had more time, we would have been able to bring one of them to come speak. And what is really horrific is that they are leaving, they're giving them a break after November 3rd to be with their families over the holidays, and then in January they're going to Miami, I think, and then they're going to Toronto. They wanted to go to Washington, D.C., they wanted to go to Chicago, and they wanted to go to Europe, and they can't. Because the anti-Semitism is so extreme. This is horrible. So, Jeremy and I will go on Sunday for a third time, and quite frankly, I already talked to one of our Florida congregants. We have two. When it's in Miami, I'm going to try to go out there and get them to go, and maybe then they can, billow it out and get more people to go. And Crystal, I'm going to have to see Sierra over there at one point in time in Canada. When they go to Toronto, we'll just have to meet up. Maybe we can take a temple trip to Toronto, and then we can go over and see Sierra's house. It's quite a journey, though. But this is the reality of, we need to show up and support. So I want you to know that it is very different from a Holocaust exhibit. I know I heard, Stacy, that you went and you cried, and you will see people crying. But it isn't like a Holocaust exhibit. We are living this right now. The comment that I hear most from people is that I'm sorry, it's just too much, I can't go through it. How can we not? We are meant in the Shema, we are meant to bear witness to the oneness of God. And the only way we can do that is by standing up to evil and celebrating the glory that is God. It doesn't mean anything if we can't show up and witness what our brothers and our sisters and our children have gone through in our time, in real time. When they lived it and are continuing to live it, it's not over. Who knows when it's going to be over? All the while maintaining hope, hatikva, hope, and the will to heal and to move on. They're creating Nova communities where they come and they heal them and they get to live, because many of them can't go back to their families and their friends because they're in the twilight zone. They're living in a whole different reality, and they need mental health, and they help each other and they heal each other. And this is extremely important. So as I said, the very least we can do is show up. When I went to the Golden Dreidel, where I got our lulav and our etrog for Sukkot, I was wearing I got this at Nova, and it's a tag. I got one for my granddaughter, so we both have the same one. And it says, "We will remember," and it has Nova and the date. And when I went to New Jersey, I mentioned it to my daughter, and she goes, "Oh, I went. I have one." I said, "Why didn't you tell me about it?" I mean, this is so important. And so I was at Golden Dreidel, and I said, "Maybe you should see if you can sell these." And they had them. And they said, "Did you see my Nova hat?" And they were like, "We went." And then the owner, there's a husband and wife, he turned to me and he said, "Have you taken your community?" And I said, "I've taken them twice, and I'm trying to take them a third time." And he said, and multiple times he said, "May you be blessed. May your community be blessed for going." And then I went to Costco yesterday to buy the stuff with Jeremy and Heather for tonight and for next week. And I see a congregant from our other synagogue, from the other place. First thing he says is, "Hello, how you doing?" I said, "Great, how are you?" Next thing he says, "Have you gone to that exhibit?" And I said, "Yes, not once, but twice, and we're going a third time." And he said, "Yeah, but did you take your people?" "Yes, as many as would come." So we must know what we're doing when we don't have a clue. All we can do is show up in our own lives, for other people, and for the world. Go vote if you haven't. How many have voted? Good. If you haven't, please do. It's important. And it's not going to happen, the healing. It's not going to happen without us being proactive and persevering forward with faith and not fear. So our two speakers will share their experiences, but first Heather is going to sing not the Rainbow Covenant, not quite yet, and to quote some words from the song. I just love that they're all like ready. Quote words from the song: "Never again will I doom the earth. This is from God. This is my promise. If you defend love and life's rebirth." This is a heavenly promise. This is my gift to you. This gift, it is another chance, a new world. Abundance and great promise has always been our destiny. It is up to us to make order out of the chaos, just as God did, as co-creators, and to create this world that we have now in a way that reflects the joy that we have for the gift of life. Now, as in Noach's time, it is up to us to choose righteousness and fight for all that God has gifted us. We must merit its inherent wonder to repair and to maintain it. May we honor it by looking hate and unadulterated evil straight in the eye and say, "No more. No more. Stand our ground, v'yachad, yad b'yad, hand in hand together. And may we fight for freedom, freedom for all, and the promise inherent in the humanity divined by God, the humanity that's in all of us. May it be God's will that we not be wiped out, so our children and theirs and beyond will have a chance for more than what we have known in our lifetime, and the strength to go on. May Milo, great-great-grandson of Abe, have the joy of Judaism that Quinn feels in his heart, that we all feel. and go forward with light and with love. The Nova Foundation and everyone involved, the people who were there, the survivors, and even the hostages who were freed, are fighting to maintain that promise, staying vigilant and hopeful amidst horrific fallout, determined to dance again. And not just saying it, they are doing it. With the incredible determination and extraordinary will to eradicate evil that all of us should support, even if all we do is show up and bear witness. May they be blessed, and may the flood of Noach remind us that humanity is fragile, always teetering on the brink of extinction, and that we can all go on if we are just willing to extend the olive branch of peace. In the words we are about to hear in the song Rainbow Covenant, God said to Noach, "Here is my sign to you. It is a rainbow. This is my gift to you. It is a new world. I give you earth, I give you sea, I give you air, yours to renew, yours to use, yours to share, but not for possessing. Let the blessing find you and put the curse behind you. Work for peace and not wars, plural, wars. See the rainbow and remember the choice is yours. That choice is ours. May we, as one collective humanity, make the right choice. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. Shabbat Shalom.